Hi, I'm Richard. We had a huge amount of work done in this house by Prestige over a period of about 7 months. It started as a wraparound extension on the ground floor and then expanded from there with more work done upstairs in multiple bedrooms, bathroom, wet room, toilet, and then hard landscaping and design of that outside in the garden. The way we use the house has changed. We always hoped that would be the plan. We expected to use the kitchen and this area that we're in at the moment much more than we used to. We've made it a much more livable space. It's bigger, it's much more sort of light and open and airy, and it's a really lovely place for us and the whole family come and meet here and talk here, and we spend most of our time here. We were looking for cost effectiveness, but we were also looking not only for that, we were looking for communication skills, we were looking for someone we thought we could work with closely, because you can spend a lot of time with each other, there's likely to be difficult conversations over the course of the build, and we wanted someone that we could trust, someone that we liked, someone that got good references, and Prestige got fantastic references that we took up, and they came with lots of good recommendations. But really it was about professionalism. Everything was really clear about what was expected from us and what was expected from them. Everything was well laid out in documentation, and basically Prestige always did what they said they'd do. It was an interesting process seeing the building work take place. It's the biggest thing we've ever done. It's alarming when you see the back of the house knocked off or the garden in total disarray, but again, Prestige were incredibly reassuring throughout that. We were lucky that we didn't actually have to live here during the time. We were able to get out of the house. They were always very good at just explaining what was happening, why things had been ripped up, what was going on, and gave us a schedule of how that was going to look, so we always understood what the next steps were. Having project management on a job this big is, I think, essential. I mean, there's a lot of decisions you still have to take yourself, but I think if you're having to make every single decision, it would be just basically a full-time job. So having the whole thing project managed by Prestige really does sort of take the pressure off you a little bit, makes the whole thing slightly more relaxing. It means you can concentrate on the things that you need to do, which is just choosing the taps and the tiles and things like that. And then Prestige are very clear about when they need materials on site, but offer a lot of flexibility with that as well. There are a few things that stand out about using Prestige. I mean, one, a lot of our neighbours commented to us whilst we came back on site, either for site visits or when we got back into the house, how hard Prestige worked. The communication throughout was really clear. They set up a really useful WhatsApp group with everyone who's involved, both Prestige and any contractors they're using. So you can just send a message to one group and you will get the answer from the right person. And then from a logistics point of view, it was just easy to deal with them. Prestige were incredibly communicative all the time. They were always finding time to just talk you through what was going on. I think they understand that this is not something you do every day, and I think they're very willing to walk you through it. I think we were pretty pleased right from the start. I mean, as I said earlier on, I think one of the things that is really good with Prestige was about the communication before the build even started. They've been incredibly good at staying in touch, making sure things are as we want them. They walk through towards the end of the build about snagging and things that maybe aren't quite as you'd hoped, or actually sometimes things that they weren't quite happy with, that they wanted to come back and just tidy up or amend or change slightly. And that lasted for 4 to 6 weeks. They were always happy to come back. That was, I think, one of the best parts of working with Prestige is that end care. Yeah, I'd absolutely recommend Prestige. I think there's a lot of competition, sure, but they, as I said earlier on, I think it's a lot around trust and communication and making sure that people who are in your house doing massive work are people that you like working with, and I think that's definitely the case with Prestige and all the team. Without fault, every single person who was here was polite, easy to deal with, worked hard, and the communication from the team at Prestige was just fantastic. I've got a few favourite bits of the build. I really love the back doors that they put in, and I really like the massive skylights that we had put in. They also did a really great job, which as I said earlier on, wasn't part of the original build plan, they did a lot of work in the garden, and they've done an amazing job at actually putting in walls all around the garden, but also some really interesting steps, and that was actually some really wide steps that open up the garden much more than it used to be, and that actually was an idea that came from Prestige. It's about the space, it's about using the space well, and it just feels really comfortable.